Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio, and today I am working on my project for Gina Ahrens design team for October, and the prompt we have was making marks, or mark making, something like that. Well, and I was having a hard time deciding what I wanted to do, and then Peg Robinson pointed out to me that anything you put on something is a mark. So that made me feel better. So I decided that the beginning of this, I found a stamp set on clearance at, I believe it was at Michael's. And that is the image you saw in the beginning, is the completed project using that stamp set. Now, that is what inspired this particular project. And the making marks, I decided I would just go in and just start marking up a piece of cardstock, and then I would use that stamp set to complete the project. So I'm just using Dilutions paints and painting a bunch of colors on here. I did do kind of a Payne's gray in the background, really light. I just didn't want a stark white page, so that's why I did that in the beginning. Just kind of makes everything a little gray, I know. And I do end up bringing white back in because I felt like I needed some white. Plus, if I was going to be stamping and stuff on here, I wanted to be able to see it. And here I'm just running the brayer over that, thinking it might, make some more marks. And here's where I add that white back in because I do have a few of Gina's stamp sets, and I wanted to stamp onto my page, and I figured it might get lost in all that blue and purple. So in the links in the description box below, I will have her Etsy store, and I have a coupon code. It's Margelle15. I'll have that down below as well, along with the links to Gina's blog, which will have all the other design team members' video links, and so you can go check out what they are creating and how they took this prompt. Mine comes out near the end of the month, so most of the videos are out by the time I post. Alright, I'm almost getting carried away with the white now, aren't I? Oh well, it all works out in the end. So this is one of her stamp sets. I really like this one because it's lots of kind of random doodly shapes and marks. So I figured it went well with this making marks kind of project. And if you're interested in this one, I will see if it's available and also link it in the description box below. That's my clean off page, just cleaning off my stamp. I'm a lazy cleaner, I just stamp off. I know I should take better care of my stamps. And I just love this little teeny arrow, isn't that cute? And it kind of goes with the project. It's a little southwestern, right? Not the colors, but the idea. Did it look like a dream catcher? It was supposed to kind of look like a dream catcher. So all these circle designs kind of work well, right? Alright, so this is another one. This is Modern Atomic, I believe, is the name of this one. This is one of her newer stamps. It had a couple of stamps that made just great random marks, I think. Now I do have a couple of my own little mark making stamps. These are made out of cheap erasers. I just carved, like this one is some X's. And then I think the other one I used just has some triangles. If I use it, I can't remember. I pulled it out. It's sitting there. It's the pink one. Accidentally, I pushed that down to clean it and I accidentally had it upside down, stamped to the back of my hand. Yeah. Oh well, I get messy when I create anyway, so it's all good. Alright, so now I thought I'd introduce some other marks with paint, and I have these straws sitting here, and I thought I would try a single straw, but you can hardly see it, and I was getting seriously impatient, so I just grabbed the whole bunch of them and stamped away. Now, this is speedball paint, so it is water reactive, but I really want to use it up. I got it on clearance, didn't know what I was getting, but fluorescent is fun. So just a couple of bright colors there. Now this is one of her stencils. This one's I don't know the name of it, but it's one of her 4 square stencils. This one is a repeating pattern, and I thought this would work great for the circle pattern. And I was thinking I needed to put white underneath because yellow is usually pretty transparent, but I actually once I get the white on here, I do go over it with yellow. And then I try it with just the yellow with a little bit of white already on my sponge. And I don't think it really mattered to have the white under there. The yellow dilutions was pretty opaque. Or at least opaque enough to show up. There you can see a little bit of a white ring. I didn't really like that, but I think that's why I decide I'll just go with the yellow after this. There's a little bit of white mixed in because not enough space. I have to make sure that I have enough space for the border and for my punch. I think I use a punch on this. Actually, I think my punch is too small. I cut these out. I was trying to not smear things, and I still end up getting paint off the edge. You'll see here in a minute. So you can see right there, I got a little paint, went over the edge. I don't think I noticed it quite yet. I'll notice it in a minute. And I got some globs of paint. But most of the products I used were acrylic and permanent. So I just take a baby wipe and clean up my little messes. There we go. Alright, so I've cut them out. See, yep, I used a, what do you call that thing? Compass to make them circles. Alright, so I decided the back needed something before I stamped on it, so I'm just using some craft paint that's gold, and I'll give a couple of layers of gold. It is pretty transparent, so it does take, though the shine is really good, I do a couple of coats. Trying to be careful because I'm really bad at getting paint on the opposite side of what I'm working on. Now this is one of her digi downloads. It's her feathers. I put it on some glossy cardstock and it printed too small. So I just stuck it in the printer again and printed it the right size. So I figured I would just paint gold on the back side, and again I'm going to do a couple of layers. It doesn't completely hide the feathers back there, but I don't think you notice them once I cut things out. And dropping things as usual, making a mess. So I used two sheets, and I used my brother's scan and cut, and cut them out with that. It did take a little bit of an effort because my copy wasn't the greatest. I had to trace around them. So there's a little bit of pencil line around each feather. Otherwise it would have wanted to cut into all that white space. And then I have a lot of mini feathers. I don't know, I might have feather confetti. Go in somebody's birthday card envelope or something. It's funny how it sticks when they're the little things, but when the big sheet I had to tape down. I haven't used my scan and cut mat that often. Alright, so I'm just going to punch all those out. Some of them weren't perfect, so I did pull out my scissors at one point and snip a few. But yeah, see, pulling out the scissors. But that's a lot easier than cutting all of them out by hand. Alright. Alright, so now I've got all these gold and pretty feathers, and I'm going to pull out the stamp set. So this is the stamp set that I got on clearance. I thought it would be great. It has this one circle and then all these artistic words, for lack of a better description. So it's like, today I will create something beautiful. I'm just holding it there. I want to make sure it's good. Yay, that looks good. Okay. So we'll get all those stamped. I think I just show you a couple. Won't make you watch every single one of them. And then we're going to stamp the individual words onto the feathers. So they had like create, imagine, make, I can't remember. Anyway, oh, design. And I just, all the ones that I could, oh, enchant, there's another word. All the ones that a word would fit on, even if it almost came off the edges sometimes. Alright, so the next part is I'm trying to make this look a little bit like a dream catcher. So I wanted to wrap thread around the edges. So I'm pre-punching the holes just with the little pokey tool. And then I'm going to I spiral that around my circle just to measure it. I go around like 4 times. And I'm doubling up the thread. And I'm crossing my fingers hoping that I made it long enough to wrap all the way around. And of course, it's long enough for me to get it tangled. All right. So I just work my way all the way around. I won't make you watch the whole thing. Then when I get done, I tie it at the end and leave it a little long. I figured that thread could work to tie on the feathers. Now, I didn't show you the whole process of the feathers. I don't know if I lost the footage or what, but I just stitched through the holes and applied a couple of beads, hoping that would weigh down the feathers a little bit, and then just glued them on and then wrapped. And they're just glued. But I hope you like that. Don't forget to check out Gina's store. Remember my discount code, 15% off, and check the links so you can see the other creators' videos with Gina's products. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.